Welcome to the only daily podcast focusing on compliance news of the day. Each morning, start your day with a cup of coffee and Tom Fox, the voice of compliance, to hear about 4 of the top compliance, corruption, or leadership stories you will need to start your day. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network.
January 8th, 2020, the Bedbug Terrorism Edition. First up, Carlos Ghosn continues to draw scrutiny as Nissan, this is reported by CNN Business, has said Tuesday that will pursue appropriate legal action against its former boss, despite his escape from custody, or rather home arrest, in Japan. In his first public statement since Ghosn fled Tokyo last week, Nissan said it still plans to hold the former CEO responsible for serious misconduct, including allegations that he underreported his income and used company assets for personal benefit. The statements went on to say the company will take appropriate legal action to hold Ghosn accountable for the harm his misconduct has caused to Nissan. Another person who may not have thought about that harm, but may now be in harm's way, as is Mrs. Ghosn, Carol Ghosn, as Japan has issued an arrest warrant for her. She gave false testimony in April related to the allegations against her husband. Now, she is reportedly in Beirut. So, once again, with the Lebanese government having no extradition treaty with Japan, it may be difficult to get her to trial. But for those wives of chief executives in the United States or elsewhere who now use the Ghosn model to flee to Lebanon or some other treaty, or rather some other country where, which does not have an extradition treaty with the country of origin which is holding you, you may want to think twice about helping your husband out. So the arrest warrant was for suspicion of giving false testimony, and it was that she was in communication with her husband and with the person wiring money between companies at the time of the testimony given. So the wife of Carlos Ghosn potentially in trouble now. Next up, big news in the FCPA world as Uber has received a declination from the U.S. government for its allegations, or at least self-disclosure, self-reporting of improper payments in Indonesia, Malaysia, China, and India. The company disclosed at the end in a securities filing on Monday that the Department of Justice would be taking no action. Uber declined comment on the end of this DOJ probe, and of course the DOJ never has any comment. This does not end the trouble or potential legal scrutiny for Uber, as the Securities and Exchange Commission has yet to opine on whether there are any internal controls or other violations that didn't rise to the standard of a criminal violation. Nevertheless, excellent news for Uber. Congratulations on receiving this declination. And finally, terrorism hits America as the New York Times reports that police are investigating the release of bed bugs in a Pennsylvania Walmart. Pill bottles filled with bed bugs were left inside a Walmart store. Authorities are investigating, and they have found bed bugs in the store itself. So if you don't think terrorism can strike the United States, clearly Walmart has experienced this. And for you compliance practitioners out there, I think the clear message is that your companies need to update their security and risk profiles, because what might happen if bed bugs attack your company, your organization, your office, or what if some unwary traveler brings back some communicable disease that they have been infected with. All things to think about now that Trump has basically communicated that he will attack Iran. So be safe out there. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network and a proud member of C-Suite Radio.